Hey everyone, so today I'm actually going to react to a video by Frank James, and in case you don't know, he does a lot of funny videos about the Myers-Briggs personality types. He is an INFJ, and his videos are pretty funny. And I just thought I would react to this one because I'm an INFP, and the video is called INFP 10 Reasons Why You're Still Single. And I am a single INFP, so yeah, I just kind of want to check it out and just share my thoughts on it.
INFP, why are you still single, man? Well, Frank, that's why I clicked on this video. I was hoping you would tell me. You might also be like, Frank, there are many reasons. How can you limit it to 10? These 10, while they may not be all of them exclusive to INFPs, and while you as an INFP may not be struggling with all of them, I think these 10 represent what an INFP in general is most likely to be dealing with. Reason number 1 you're still single, INFP, is you want a deep love. Frank, is that it? Are you saying I should get rid of my desire for a deep love? Come on.
Yeah, okay. Yes, that is true. Okay, I just, I do want a deep love. Is there something wrong with that? That's something I do miss about being in relationships. Well, I mean, not that I really had amazing relationships, but just, I guess, that connection that you have with somebody, that really deep connection. And maybe I haven't really had them with relationships, it's just like people that I was attracted to and they didn't like me back. But yeah, when you have those deep connections with people, when you have those conversations that, you know, like all-nighters, you're just like, oh my gosh, we were just talking for 4 hours. I love that kind of stuff. Or when you go on a first date and you have an amazing conversation, like, I yearn for that. So yes, I do like deep connections.
Man, no, the real problem is you want a deep love and you're impatient to get it. Here's a word that might upset some of you, but let's be realistic when we're going into dating. You're not
realistic. No, how dare you?
Going to necessarily feel a huge emotional rush and the deep connection right away. And INFPs really want the deep connection with people. They don't do things halfway, right? So it can be a little discouraging when you're in the dating scene, or even if you haven't even started dating, if you're just looking at, you know, a dating site and you see all these people and you're like, how am I ever going to create a connection with this? Or I've gone on a date with this person and it didn't really feel much. But the thing is, early stages of dating, you're not going to feel that much. It's not going to be that deep. What you're doing.
So everyone's going to be boring? Everyone's going to be uninteresting? Really? Oh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry, I'm 34. I don't have time to waste on shallow people like are not interesting. So yeah, I do kind of move on from people really quick if I feel like I don't really feel anything within, I don't know, the first date or whatever. But I just see it as I don't have time to waste. Okay, I'm trying to find my true love and I don't want to wait weeks for you to become interesting to me. So, and to create that deep connection, I need to feel it. Yeah, pretty soon, I guess.
In the early stages of stuff is you're just getting to know people. You're just meeting them to see, is there a potential for that deep connection later? INFPs are very romantic people. They want to be swept off their feet, but sometimes you've got to wait a while. You know, you've got to let things simmer. There's got to be that slow development before you can get to the place where love just naturally emerges.
I'm 34. I don't have time. I mean, I don't like to rush relationships. Once I find someone I really like, I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to be like, okay, we like each other, let's get married in 3 months. No. I definitely wanted to progress and be organic and everything, but I need to at least be attracted to you. And if I'm not attracted to you within probably like 1 or 2 dates, I'm going to move on. So
the next thing is you don't show enough of yourself. And this is because INFPs are introverted feelers. I'm going to be bringing up that term a lot. Introverted feelers feel very deeply, like I mentioned in the last point, but they don't really show it. They don't feel the obligation to show what they're feeling. And so a lot of INFPs just kind of like always look baseline, like nothing's going on. And part of that is also not like verbalizing what's going on inside. And that can make it difficult for people to connect with you. Just don't.
Okay, I will say that is true depending on, for me, I'm just speaking for myself. That is true for me in certain situations. Well, if I'm by myself or around people I'm comfortable with, you know, my friends and stuff, I'm very expressive. Like, my facial expressions are very, like, I've been told I have a very expressive face. And I think that is true. So I am like that when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, but when I'm around strangers, or yeah, just anyone that I don't know, I do kind of have a more stone face, resting bee face, maybe, I don't know, because I've been hurt by a lot of narcissistic people and used by a lot of narcissistic people, you know, just, yeah. So I'm trying to protect myself by just not showing a lot. Like if I'm scared, you know, and I'm by myself, I try not to show it. Or if I'm nervous, because then, you know, predators, I'm not saying like people who are going to physically hurt you, but just anyone who's going to hurt you in any way, they will, if they see, you know, any fear or anything on your face, they will pounce on that and you'll be more vulnerable. So around people I don't know, I will be less expressive, but around people that I'm comfortable with, I will be a lot more animated and expressive.
On any level, but especially a romantic level. And I'm not saying on the first date, be like, I think I love you. I'm saying just expressing just generally what you're feeling. Oh, I feel happy today. It's great to see you. Like, I'm glad that we can get together. Even at some point, maybe being the first one to say, I really like you. Let's go out again. You know, let's see where this thing goes. Don't play your cards so close to the vest. And I know it feels uncomfortable for INFPs to begin to verbalize what's going on inside them, but it's a good thing to start to do. Even if it feels weird, it feels shallow maybe, but you gotta play a little bit of the fake extroverted feeling game just to make the connection with people, to get them to relate more to you. Number 3 is you're too worried what other people think about you. I think INFPs struggle with this mightily. Everyone to a degree has some worry about judgment, right? But the INFPs in particular have an amplified perception of the spotlight effect, which is where you feel like everyone's always looking at you way more than they are. To be honest.
Okay, I do kind of feel that sometimes, because I don't know if it's because I'm an INFP, but I think because I have anxiety. So naturally with like any like anxiety and social anxieties, you do kind of feel like the eyes like looking at you. And maybe they're not, but I have been going through, I've going to therapy for that, and it has helped. But also when you're a woman and you've been harassed a bunch of times on the street, it's not the craziest thing to feel like a creeper looking at you. And I trust my intuition pretty, you know, a lot. And most of the times I can just feel like, I don't really think that everyone's looking at me, but definitely like when a creeper is staring at you, you can feel it. Okay. If you're a woman who's been harassed, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't think when it comes to creepers, I don't think I'm wrong to think that when I feel one looking at me, they probably are. But do I think everyone's looking at me? No, that therapy has definitely helped with that. I think feeling that everyone's looking at you is different than caring what people think. Because I do whatever I want in my life, and I don't care what people say about it. I move a lot. I pursue different projects because I want to. I don't ask anyone's permission. I don't care what anyone thinks. I just do it because I want to. So I don't really care what people think about what I do with my life. But do I feel everyone's looking at me? I don't know, sometimes, but I guess that is the anxiety part. But I have been going to therapy for that. So if you do have that feeling, definitely going to therapy works. But again, if you're a girl who has been harassed by creepers, you know what I'm talking about. When you can just feel the eyes just staring at you, trust your gut, okay? Trust your gut.
As most people don't care about anyone but themselves.
That's true.
And the INFPs think it's like I said, amplified. everyone's really watching me, man. And when you get into a situation like dating, where there's the discomfort of rejection is inherent to dating. The INFPs are going to be like, I don't know if I can handle that. I don't want to be judged like that. But what you've got to shift your mind into thinking is that it's not so much about judging you. It might seem like that, but it's really about judging the connection. Did we connect? Do our puzzle pieces fit together? Not everyone is a match, and most people aren't matches with other people. While we're in the midst of this video, if you're enjoying yourself, why don't you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And once the video is over, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about these 10 things. Here's an interesting one for number 4. You don't ask enough questions. I think INFPs are not naturally the kind of people who are going to be leading a conversation in the way of asking a bunch of questions, trying to really dig into the other person in a sense. I think INFPs are just like, I feel like that might annoy them. I don't really necessarily want to get them.
I think that's something I've worked on. Maybe when I was younger, maybe I was more like that. But now I find, also because I host podcasts, I've interviewed people on red carpets, you do ask a lot of questions when you do that. So I think that's definitely helped. And I don't know if it's just the guys that I've dated, like that I've been on dates with recently. I'm the one doing most of the asking on the date. They don't really ask me anything. They just talk about themselves. And I'm just like, do you blame me, okay, for not wanting to see them again? When all they did was just talk about themselves and I was asking them questions. And instead of doing like a nice little back and forth, having a conversation where I ask you something, you ask me, I ask you, like, nice little back and forth. They were just talking about themselves. And I'm just like, are you even curious about me at all? Why are we on this date? I don't know. I just pick horrible dudes apparently, but that's been my experience on the last few dates I've been on. I've definitely worked on making sure I'm asking questions because I do want to know about them, because I want to know if they're a good match. So I think I'm doing pretty well in that aspect, but if you're an INFP and you're not, then that's something to work on. I'm just, I'm just speaking for myself, and that was my dog that was sneezing, so.
Talking about all this stuff, I'd rather the conversation be more free-flowing, but people like it when you ask direct questions about them, about what they think, what they feel, about their experiences.
They don't
with
ask
certain
me anything.
Things. And INFPs need to force themselves to do a bit more of that, because when you don't ask questions, it feels like you don't care. It feels like you're not invested. It feels like you have no interest. And
they don't have interest in me.
Even if it might seem a little silly, a little bit, too superficial, it's really just about expressing interest. Just showing I value what's going on in your brain.
They don't value me. I'm just saying.
And I want to hear you verbalize.
I was the one asking most of the questions.
This might be painful, but you can't move on from a past relationship or a fantasy of the perfect relationship. Now, what's the commonality between those two things? It's that neither are real. Well, Frank, I had a past relationship and it was great, but it ended. Yeah, but it doesn't actually exist anymore. And the thoughts in your head, your memories of it, the feelings that you thought you felt, oftentimes aren't actually accurate. And maybe if you went back in time, you would be reminded of, oh yeah, it was maybe a bit more run-of-the-mill. There were lows, not just highs, because sometimes I think in general, everyone can edit out the bad stuff that happened in a previous relationship and just remember the good times. And you forget how, actually there were times where you're like, man, I'm tired of this crap. And with a fantasy, that's even less real because it's never even happened. And your expectations of a relationship shouldn't be based on other relationships. Every relationship is different. And especially don't base it on an imaginary relationship. It's really about letting go of that and getting into what I like to call reality.
There you go again with reality. Reality stinks, okay? Reality bites. I guess maybe because I'm 34, I'm maybe older than a lot of the INFPs watching Frank James, but I was definitely more guilty of this whole fantasy thing when I was younger. like kind of having a hard time letting that go. But now that I'm older, I have an easier time. And I think that's another reason why I kind of move on from guys a lot quicker now that I'm older, because I know what I want. And instead of just like building this fantasy about this guy and what it could be, I kind of just see what's there in front of me and what they're presenting. I'm like, okay, that's not really what I want. It's not a good match. Move on. Whereas when I was younger, I might have tolerated them a little bit more and had all these hopes. But I guess I'm more jaded now. So, I still have my fantasy dream guy in my head, and I hope someday I can have that awesome relationship and find someone amazing. But I'm a lot better now at moving on from like fantasy or like exes and things like that.
For NF types in general, reality is not our strong suit. INFPs not excluded from that. So focus more on what are the facts? What's right in front of me? Who is this person that I am talking to right now?
Yep.
What do they have on the table?
Yep.
Don't compare it with other people, other relationships, etc. Here's another one. Number 6 is you're too quick to reject people, because INFPs with the introverted feeling.
Okay, yes, that is true. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. How'd you know? But like I said, I'm 34. I'm not getting any younger. I'm not going to waste my time on somebody who I just feel nothing for, and I just know they're wrong for me. I know what I want, and if in the first 1 or 2 dates they show me like, I have deal breakers, so if they have those deal breakers, like, why am I going to waste my time with them? So I okay, done. Yes, I do reject them a lot easier and faster, but it's because I'm trying to find my right person. I'm not going to find the right person if I'm with the wrong person. That is my reason, okay?
Perverted feeling is basically a compass for what do I think is good or bad, what do I like or not like. And so I think INFPs are very fast to just be like, nope, don't like that person. 15 minutes into a first date, you're like, I've made up my mind. My internal compass is telling me I don't like this person that much. And yeah, there are times where you get on a date, especially if you met them on a dating site and they don't look like their picture, etc. There are times where you meet someone and within 3 seconds you know this ain't right.
Yes.
But there are dates that are just kind of blah. You're like, they're a nice person, but I'm not feeling the highs yet. Just give them another chance. Like, give it time to develop. Don't always assume you know exactly what you're gonna like, because I think you could be surprised if you just open your mind a little bit to, oh, I might like these other kind of people. If I gave this person another chance, maybe they're nervous, maybe they're just having a bad day, maybe they're not stepping off with the right foot forward. Giving them another chance to see if you can develop feelings for someone over time. Give it time. Number 7, when people...
Maybe if the guys were actually decent, I would give them another chance. But like I said, if you're not going to ask me any questions on a date, if I'm doing all that asking, no, you are not getting a second date. If you're rude to, staff, you are not getting another date. I'm sorry. I'm not going to put up with another date. No, I'm not going to teach you manners. That's something that you should already have. I'm not your mommy. I'm not going to teach you how to communicate with people like you're a grown adult. If you don't know how to communicate with people and have a conversation, go take a class. I'm not here for that. So, like I said, I'm 34. Okay. I don't have time to waste with the wrong people.
Suggest things to you. Maybe a different way of going about dating. Maybe a different kind of person to date. Maybe they say, oh, you got a bad attitude. Maybe they point out some of these things that I've said already. Maybe I'm secretly proving this right now. You don't want to take other people's advice. You're just like, nah, I know what's going on. I know myself. INFPs, that's their strong suit, is that they know themselves really well.
And that can
lead them sometimes to be overconfident in their opinions about things. So
yes, I do know myself better than anyone. So okay, yeah, I don't like unsolicited advice. If I want your advice, I will ask for it. Okay, that's kind of how I feel. This video, I chose to watch it, so, I'm kind of asking for his advice here. But in general, yeah, if I didn't ask for your advice, don't give it to me, because that has not steered me wrong. Actually, that has actually worked out really well for me, because most people don't know me. Like pretty much nobody knows me as well as I know myself. So it doesn't make sense for me to listen to advice from people who don't know me, who don't know the situation very well. So why would I listen? It's like a truck driver giving advice on like a medical issue. They don't know what they're talking about. So why would I listen to his advice? And I trust my intuition. I trust my heart. I follow my heart. That's kind of my motto, not model. I move a lot. I change jobs. I do a lot of different things and do all these creative projects, and I do them because I want to, and so many things that I've done that worked out pretty well or that just made me happy. If I would have asked people's advice, they would have advised me against it. Don't do it. It's risky. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm glad I didn't listen to them. So I'm still going to stick to doing that, because if I followed the horrible advice that a lot of people give me, I would probably be super unhappy. And no. Yeah. So they just don't know what they're talking about. So
people come to you with dating advice, or even just like, hey, I think you might be good going out with my friend over here, my friend Billy. Your inclination might be to be like, no, I know what's best.
I do.
Maybe try to dial that back a bit and be like, okay, what this person is saying sounds like it's dumb, but let me just try it out. What's there to lose?
Look, okay. I have had friends who have told me, oh, you should go out with this guy. And I'm sorry, like, the reasons they give me are not that great. They'll be like, oh, you both like this food, the same food. So what? Because we like a certain food, that means we're soulmates? Like, or you both like this movie and lots of people like that movie. Does that mean that I'm meant to be with everyone who likes this movie? Or, oh my gosh, you love blue? This guy's favorite color is blue. You guys need a date. No, like stupid little things like that are not good reasons why like we should date. So maybe if my friends or whoever tried to match me up gave me better reasons as to why that person and I would be a good match, yeah, I might give them a shot, but they give me horrible reasons. Like, just because we have one thing in common doesn't mean we're soulmates or we're like that we should date. Lots of people like blue and they're jerks. Lots of people like movies I like and they're a-holes. So like, give me better reasons as to why I should date a guy and I might give them a shot. But so far, nobody has given me any good reasons.
INFPs are great listeners, except when it's like someone trying to give them advice.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they sort of just like turn that off. Number 8, you get real down on yourself. The INFPs, when they get down on themselves, they're like,
get down with the sickness. Come on, get down with the Oh, sorry, I had to, I couldn't resist.
Never gonna find anyone. Maybe you think I'm no good. So on and so forth. It's hard to pull yourself out of that. It's even harder for other people to help you out. INFPs a lot of times don't really respond to other people trying to pull them out of some kind of slump. The INFPs have to do it for themselves, which makes them become protracted periods, prolonged periods of being down on yourself, maybe even throwing a pity party, being like, I just can't find the one, I'm never gonna do it. But the thing is, you don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now, let alone the rest of your life. So when you get down on yourself, you've got to think of, what is my ultimate value here? INFPs love that kind of stuff. What do I really want? Is it a relationship? Okay, well then me being down on myself is incongruent with that, with what I really want, with what my highest values are. And so I need to turn it around. I need to pull myself out of the slump. I need to stop being down on myself and just do the work to achieve what I want, to find what I want, to be true to my values.
Okay, I agree with that. I'm sorry I keep bringing up my age, but I'm just showing that like I've grown and I've learned, and that's why. So I'm 34 and not as bad with this as I used to be. Whereas, yeah, when I was younger, I definitely would be down on myself a lot. And, you know, I have mental health issues, so I still struggle with that now. But, you know, I have grown and done a lot of learning and working on myself and reading books and therapy. So that has helped, and I've definitely, you know, learned to be happier on my own and appreciate the single life and what I have to offer and things like that. I'm not saying I don't struggle. I definitely still do, but I'm a lot better than I was when I was younger. So yeah, but what he said is true about, you know, working on yourself and all that stuff.
The other thing is, if you go into a dating situation, if you finally go on a date, or you're trying to get a date, you're approaching someone you like, if you are down on yourself,
approaching someone, I would never do that. No. Don't scare me like that, Frank. I would never approach someone I liked. No. That's real funny. That's real funny, Frank, that you would suggest that we would go up to people we liked. No. Okay, we just admire them from afar.
you're going to have this attitude of, well, you know, who would want to go on a date with me anyway? You know, maybe you could even stumble over your words like that too.
Yeah, that's
true. To make yourself sound really erudite. If you're down on yourself, people feel that, you know, even if you're not trying to emote it. If your body language will just give away that you just don't feel so confident, and people aren't attracted to that. So build yourself up. Maybe you need to take yourself, just say, I'm not going to date for a while. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to work on building myself up, being confident, so that when I go out there into the dating world, I can crush it, because I don't care. I don't need the validation from other people.
Yes.
I don't need to worry about if they're going to reject me, because I'm good.
Yes, I agree with all of that, and that's where I am in my life. I'm single, but I'm not really like actively looking, you know. I don't know why I'm hunched like this, but not really looking for any. Like, I'm not on dating apps or anything like that. I'm just gonna live my life, do me. God, you know what I mean, right? Just live my life, do what I love, and build myself up, I guess, as well. Pursue my goals, and if I meet someone along the way, that's awesome. If I meet them as I'm living my life, great. But am I on dating websites trying to look for dudes? No. In my experience, that has worked out better. I've never met a guy that I liked when I was trying to meet a guy. Like, let's go to clubs, blah, 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 and I'll meet a cute guy. It's never happened. When I did end up meeting a guy I liked, it was when I wasn't expecting it. There were 2 times in my life that I said I wasn't going to date ever again. And then pretty soon after, I met, like, 2 of my boyfriends, 2 guys who ended up being my boyfriend. But, you know, obviously it didn't work out with them. But when I wasn't expecting it, that's usually when I meet a guy. So that's kind of how I live my life. I don't really go out and like try to find a dude, and I think that's a lot better. I think you'll find a person who's better suited for you if you're staying true to yourself, if you're pursuing your goals, you're going on your path, on the path that feels right for you. And then the person that you meet along that path, I think, you know, hopefully they'll be a good match for you.
I got it together. It would be great for me to get a relationship like I want, but I'm not going to be down on myself. Like, get yourself out of the slump. I've mentioned this a few times before for number 9, is that the INFPs they want the romance. They want, you know, to have the high emotional state. They want to feel deeply, but they really don't like it when they get into dating and they realize it's kind of mundane. Like, you know, first dates can be a pain because they're all just like small talk, you know, what's your family?
This is why for first dates, I don't know if I'm ever going to go on a first date again. It's been a while for me, but next time I go on a first date, if the guy asks me what I suggest, I prefer an activity as a date, but an activity that you can actually talk while you're doing it. So not something super loud where you can't have a conversation, because conversation is important. I need to have good conversation. Yeah, I don't like boring dates. I mean, I also have ADHD, so if you're boring, like, I need mental stimulation. If you are boring, you are out. I have ADHD, so I can't be around boring people. So yeah, I think an activity is a good first date idea. Will I ever be able to use my first date ideas? I don't know. We'll see if I ever go on a first date again. Yeah, that's why I think activities are good. Ideas, movies. For anyone who goes to a movie on a first date, don't. I think movies are horrible first date ideas because you don't talk. You're just sitting next to each other for 2 hours. Unless you already know each other, like you've been friends for 5 years and then you want to go on a date, cool, because you've already talked. But if it's a brand new person that it's your first time hanging out, like, do something where you can actually talk and get to know the person.
Dog, how do you take your coffee? It can just feel like you're in Groundhog's Day, the hit movie Groundhog's Day, right? And INFPs are really averse to stuff like that. INFPs don't like mundane things. They really hate, they detest small talk. INFPs are like, nah, we gotta have like a meaningful, deep conversation, yo. Yes. But realize it's okay. It's okay for things to be a bit mundane. It's okay to set up some, meh first dates and just go with it. Everything doesn't have to be instant connection. If you think of it less like the stakes are high because I've got to meet my person and I don't see them, if I don't see them right away, it's not going to work. Just be more like, I'm just getting to know people, right? I'm just having a good time, enjoying my life, asking them some questions so that I can get to know like how does their mind work, and I'm just expressing myself, who I am. All right, and last, number 10, and this is the same point I had for the why INFJs are single. You're weird, but that's okay. I'm not even saying but, and that's okay. All the NF types are a bit weird. Everyone has their own weirdnesses, but the NF types in particular, they're cut from a different cloth, if you will. Rather than going to one extreme and getting down on yourself to be like, oh man, I'm weird, I got a fake.
Get down with the sickness. Come on, get down. I can't help myself when I hear him say, get down on yourself. I need to reference that song.
Like I'm normal. Or going to the other extreme where it's like, I'm going to be so weird and if you can't handle it, F you. To be more like, I just accept myself for who I am.
If you can't handle it,
I'm a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But I'm going to find someone one day who either is also weird so they get it and they don't even think of it as being weird, or someone who's maybe different than me, but they like that. They're attracted to that. They're my opposite, and they've found the missing piece of the puzzle in there.
Yes! That is so right. I'm gonna cry. Okay. But that's what I want, It's so hard to find that. Somebody who appreciates all your little quirks and loves you, not just despite of your quirks, but because of your quirks. Like, that'd be amazing. So I think that's one of the hardest things for me too, is just finding someone who actually appreciates me as a person, like who I am, who I truly am. Because I think a lot of, maybe, I don't know, guys, they see me on social media and they think like a certain thing. And then they get to know me more and they're like, okay, like, I don't like that. You dancing like a real crazy person and referencing, like singing songs randomly. I don't like that, but that's how I am. And I think I've only met the guys that I've dated, one person, just one, who actually like loved all my little quirks, like things that I would do that other exes would be like, can you stop? Or like be embarrassed by it. This guy loved it. He was like, oh no, keep doing it. Like, it's so cute. And that's why he has a special place in my heart. But, we're just friends now. So, but it would be nice to meet somebody like that again, who actually likes me in a romantic way.
Sometimes we get down on ourselves. We don't want to put ourselves out there just in general in life, because we think I'm so out there, I can't relate to other people. Yeah. The NF types, man, we're idealists. The world can seem like such a drag, especially something that's supposed to be fun, like dating, and when you really get into the reality of it, you're like, oh crap. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to struggle a bit with reality. It's okay to feel like other people maybe don't get you, but you will find that person one day. All the ding-dongs that you have to go out with, and all the bad dates, and all the text conversations that fizzle out and don't go anywhere, it'll all be worth it when you find that one person one day who accepts you and your weird self and is like, this is great, this is what I always wanted. Once again, BetterHelp.
Okay. This is hitting me right now. Shoot. Ooh, don't cry. I'm such an INFP. All right. That really hit me. I don't want to ruin my makeup. I want to cry, but I'm going to try not to. But that's very true. Like what he was saying. Hopefully one day, you know, I will find somebody like that. What he described, that's what I want. But I don't know. It feels pretty hopeless sometimes. I don't know, it's hard to be hopeful that you'll find somebody kind of like he said. But hopefully you're right. And if you're an INFP watching, I hope you find somebody who appreciates you too. And hopefully, yeah, dating all those jerks will be worth it. But at least, you know what? I would rather be alone and with my doggy and be happy and, you know, follow my dreams. I'd rather be alone and do all that stuff than settle for some person who doesn't appreciate me just so I can be in a relationship. No. Much rather be single than settle for someone that is not the right person. So whatever happens. Would I like to find the right person? Of course, but am I desperate and I'm gonna settle for somebody that I'm not into? Heck no. As I say, I'm single, not desperate. All right. Some people think it's the same thing. It's not.
/Frank James. Thanks for watching. Till next time, stay cool and attractive.
Stay cool and attractive. I think that's really funny. All right, Frank James, thank you so much for the advice. Thanks for making a video for INFPs. We feel so special. Thank you. If you're an INFP, let me know what you think, if you agree. Sorry if the response was kind of long, but I did say I was going to share my viewpoints on it. So I did tell you what is going to happen at the beginning of the video. Follow me on my social media down in the description. I have a travel channel as well. I mean, I don't have a lot right now because of COVID, ruined my plans. But subscribe if you want to see my future travel videos whenever I get to travel again. And if you like this awesome wall sign with my name on it, etched on wood, they made it for me. That was really nice. So if you want your own, you can get one in the link in the video description. And I'm gonna end this video just because it's already really long. All right.